Welcome to this lab on brand strategy and Super Bowl Twitter analytics. In recent times, Twitter has been a very popular medium as a second screen in addition to watching TV. For example, during 2015 Super Bowl, there are 2 billion views compared to other events that were happening on TV, according to this infographic source from Fortune magazine in 2015. Twitter is amazing. It's just able to garner a lot of attention from the general public, extract a lot of engagement from the general public. For example, if you look at this 2017 stats, there are currently 313 million monthly active users. Now this is a bit old, 2017, but that's a lot, isn't it? There's 500 million tweets per day. Twitter will, if it's a country, Twitter will be the 12th most populated country in the world. There are about 20 million fake users on Twitter, and some statistics from the most popular Twitter users like Justin Bieber or Katy Perry or the Jenner. And then there are some other tweets they got a lot of responses from the public for the other users of Twitter, such as Ellen DeGeneres selfie during the 2014 Oscar, or the Walking Dead popular TV series, Walking Dead able to get about 435,000 tweets per episode. That's amazing. Also, some typical Twitter users are young women. They use an iPhone with an average of 208 followers. Amazingly, 86% of users on Twitter get their news from Twitter. 76% of users are active on mobile device. 83% of world leaders have a Twitter account. Over 67% of users are likely to purchase from a brand they follow on Twitter. 60% of users expect brands to answer to a query within an hour on Twitter. Some other interesting facts about tweets. Tweets with quotes are 53% more likely to be retweeted. The ideal length of a tweet that includes an image is about 20 to 40 characters. Tweet with one hashtag are 69% more likely to be retweeted than those with 2 hashtags. Twitter users are 26% more likely to retweet if the URL is indeed in the middle of the page. Amazing. I didn't know that. So tweets including question marks receive 39 to 52% fewer clicks. Wow, don't include a question mark in the tweet. So we know Twitter is amazing. Twitter is very popular and well used. So what's the relationship between the Super Bowl ads and Twitter? This is what we want to investigate in this lab. And you have the opportunity to get this hands-on experience to learn about this relationship or how to establish this relationship. First, let us start with understanding the motivation behind this lab or this exercise. The main motivation comes from the heavy investment of brands during the Super Bowl. In 2017, it cost brands $5 million for every 30-second slot to advertise during the Super Bowl. Because of this heavy investment, brands want to know the return on investment on their initiative. Thus, it is very important for them to be able to track and monitor and find out whether their investment is actually achieving the goal or the strategy of their brands. So in this lab, we are trying to connect 2 ends. One is the strategy of the ads or the brands, and the second is the role of IS tools in this strategy. The main strategy of Super Bowl ads or the brands is to enhance the brand and to reach the audience that they are targeting. And then on the other hand, we want to know the roles. What is the role of IS tools in this strategy? Can IS tools make a difference? So IS tools refer to the way that we analyze demographics, locations, etc. Basically tracking and monitoring of audience feedback and responses. This will become supplementary information then for future decision making in terms of targeting, in terms of reaching out to the correct audience, in terms of being precise in campaigns and so forth. So essentially, to understand the relationship between strategy of Super Bowl brands with IS is to explore the relationship between social media buzz, aka Twitter buzz, around Super Bowl ads with ad ratings. Ad ratings has been traditionally the way that the industry has been measuring the performance of Super Bowl ads for many, many decades. So if we are able to establish a relationship from Twitter surrounding Super Bowl ads with USA Today index ratings, which is the ad ratings that I just mentioned, and then we are able to conclude that social media, aka IS tools, do play a major role in able to predict, able to correlate with performance of Super Bowl ads. Thus, we're able to then link or connect the strategy of Super Bowl brands with the performance or the use of IS tools. So that is the whole purpose and motivation for this lab. Now let's look at 3 tweet examples. Some of you may be familiar with Twitter and how it works. These 3 tweets are examples of Super Bowl tweets. The first one, those Budweiser commercials had me bawling my eyes out. Hashtag Budweiser, hashtag Super Bowl, hashtag Horse Puppy, hashtag Tearjerker. So these hashtags are the way that we identify these as part of the tweets that we want to collect. Second one, thanks Coca-Cola and hashtag Cheerios for showing us US multicultural families and successfully including diverse markets. Hashtag AdBow, hashtag America is beautiful. The third tweet is kind of a negative tweet associating Scarlett Johansson with some negative issues that SodaStream is currently facing. When these tweets are taken as a whole in volumes of thousands and even hundreds of thousands, brands will be able to then ascertain the performance of their ads or their investment in Super Bowl. Will give them a strong understanding about the public's, or specifically Twitter public's, feedback in terms of how positive or negative, or even in terms of popularity and so forth. Before we go any further, let's talk about the objective of this lab. Number one is to learn to extract valuable metrics from social media data using Microsoft Excel. So the tweets have already been collected and they have been aggregated into a summary in Excel spreadsheet. So what this lab is all about extracting the insights from this summary using Excel functions and so forth. So these insights then refer to attributes that we can collect as well as information that we can aggregate from the spreadsheet. Now these insights are valuable to brands because it helps them to know more about the performance of their ads. And number 3 is also, this lab is also a simple introduction as well as a review on descriptive statistics, correlation charts, regressions, and word clouds. Now, one thing to note is that the lab instructions will become more and more vague as lab progresses, and the reason why is to encourage student self-learning. Okay, lab setup. First, you need to download this presentation. Obviously, if you already reading this, you should have already downloaded or viewing this on Canvas, which is it's the same thing. Next thing is you need to download the SB 2014 spreadsheet. So this is Super Bowl 2014 aggregated summary spreadsheet for all the ads, I think about 50 plus of them during the 2014 Super Bowl. It's a summary of actual tweets downloaded using PHP and MySQL scripts. All these are done prior, you don't have to worry about it. You just work with the spreadsheet. You also need to download the Doritos.txt file. This Doritos.txt is a text file that contains tweets sent about the Doritos brand. We use this as an example for creating the word clouds, which is the last step in this lab. You will also need the Microsoft Excel with data analysis pack turned on. If you do not know how to do this, I have some instructions in Canvas to help you to do this. And you need to prepare a Word document, which is the main submission for this lab. Introduction. Let's start with the research question. Is social media, aka Twitter, an effective tool for measuring brand performance from Super Bowl ads? Essentially, we are tying IS tools with strategy. So how are we going to do this? First, we need to find a relationship between Twitter metrics and Super Bowl performance. So if a relationship exists, then social media, aka Twitter in this instance, may be a valuable real-time low-cost monitoring mechanism in addition to existing tools. In addition, social media provides rich feedback, for example word of mouth, identify influencers, identify competitors, and so forth. So to find this relationship between Twitter with Super Bowl ads, or the performance of Super Bowl ads, we will perform these 5 steps. Number 1, we will perform descriptive statistics. Number 2 is correlation analysis between the variables with the outcome variable. Number 3 are charts. We'll be looking at 1 bar chart and 1 scatter plot. The 4th one is 3 sets of ordinary least squared regressions. These regressions are very useful to find the relationships between the contributing variables to the outcome variables. Then you understand that relationship between what's happening in Twitter with what's happening in the performance for each ads. The last one is word cloud diagrams, which is useful to identify the most frequently used terms, and then from those terms you can understand things about what are characteristics of your brand or your ad that is most popular, that people are concerned about, or you can also identify competitors that are associated with your brand and so forth. All right, the data set that we're working with is the Super Bowl 2014. So this is actually a game between Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos, which wasn't a great game. Broncos lost by 43-8. This contains 51 ads during the Super Bowl. Of course, it contains social media measures, which are Twitter aggregated measures, and also USA Today ratings for the performance of the ads. And then these measures are extracted from downloading and analyzing tweets for each ad. You don't have to do this part. This is done previously from my research team. Let's start with the first assignment, descriptive statistics. Step 1 is to open the Microsoft Excel and open the 2014 SB 2014 spreadsheet. Let me do that. I have already done that. Open up the 2014 spreadsheet in Excel. This is what the summary of the aggregated data looks like. So have the following columns. USA index is the ratings for the ads. So the higher number indicates better performance, and this ratings is available from USA Today. That has been used for many decades. Then these other numbers are variables or predictive variables that will predict the performance of each rating. The performance of each ads. So this is the unique number of senders, number of retweets, brand-only tweets that were sent for that ad, total tweets, ad-only tweets, pre-release yes or no, and also whether there's a celebrity or not in that ad. So let's highlight all the number cells, including titles, but excluding the first 2 columns, official and brand columns, and then we'll start doing descriptive statistics. Go to data and data analysis. Let's go back to Excel. So highlight all the number columns, top to bottom, excluding the first 2 columns, and also including the labels, which is the titles of those columns. Then go to data, and then search for data analysis. If you do not have this, then please find out how to put this information in Canvas about how to add in the data analysis portion of your Excel. So click on that. So select descriptive statistics, click OK. You should have this panel. Now this panel here have some choices that have been selected. So please select labels in first row and summary statistics. Let me go back to my Excel. Labels in first row, summary statistics. Somehow this is missing. So let's go back and select those columns again. Go back to Excel. Let me see how to do this. Oh, click on here. Yep. And then select those columns again. Click OK. Then descriptive statistics is done and it's put into a new sheet. Now, what I want you to do next is to copy the results into a Word document. I'm not going to do it, but please do it on your own. Then discuss the results in your Word document as well. Focus on average, the mean, and the max for these 4 columns: USA index, total tweets, brand only tweets, and ad only tweets. For example, if I look at USA index, which is here, the mean is about 5.61. So the average mean rating, the mean or average rating is 5.61. Min is 3.89. So the lowest ad has a rating of 3.89. The maximum is 8.29. And let's go back quickly and look at which one is the maximum. 8.29 is this one. So Budweiser Best Buds, the one with the horse and the puppy, I'm sure you remember that one. It's actually the highest rated commercial, Super Bowl commercial during that year, and also did quite well as compared to other years as well. So it has the highest rating and so forth. Please do the same discussion for the other variables as well. Next, we're going to work on correlation analysis. And first thing we want to do here is to select correlation in the data analysis panel and then click OK. Let's do that. So go to data analysis, select correlation, click OK. Then here we need to select the respective data columns. So please let's do that. Go here, do the same thing that we did before for all of these number columns, excluding the first 2 non-number columns. Click on labels in first row, click OK. A new sheet will appear and we will see the correlation that will be published here. Please also copy the result to a Word document and then discuss the which variables are highly correlated and why. Let's look at some example. The number of retweets and a unique sender is highly correlated, meaning ads that has high number of senders usually has higher number of retweets, which is quite intuitive. And there's other ones that are quite highly correlated as well. Then please explain this relationship and why do you intuitively think that's the case. Total tweets and retweet is also highly correlated. Next, you are going to work on 2 charts. The first chart is the bar chart and the second one scatter plot. Okay, so the first one is a bar chart of ad tweets comparing among all the brands. This result here, or this bar chart here, is what you should get. Now these 2 charts are to be done by yourself, and you should have learned how to do charts and diagrams in Excel from the 2010 class or from your previous. Once you have completed the chart, discuss the results. Why do you think Budweiser has such a high volume of tweets comparing to the other brands or ads? And down here, it seems like Sprint and WeatherTech are the ones with the low number of tweets. Second chart is a scatter plot comparing ad tweet with the USA index. So we want to know if there's any correlation shown in the chart or the plot between ad tweet with the outcome variable, which is USA index rating. Add in the trend line. The trend line will tell you whether it's a positive upward trend or a negative downward trend. And this does show that it is an upward trend. What does it mean? Please answer that in your Word document. Now remember to copy. Make a picture of your chart or copy them into your Word document and discuss each one of them separately. Next, we're going to work on linear regression. So what is linear regression? Well, it is the most basic and commonly used predictive analysis. Regression estimates are used to describe data and to explain the relationship between one dependent variable and one or more independent variables. Dependent variables are also known as the outcome variable, and the independent variables are the predictor variables, the one on the left hand side. At the center of the regression analysis is a task fitting a single line through a scatter plot. The simplest form with one dependent or one independent variable is this, defined by the formula y equals a plus b multiplied by x. Now you should be familiar with this formula, which you should have learned from your statistics or math class in high school. Now for this lab, you should do 3 sets of regression. Now the 3 sets of regression has the following y variable for each set. The USA index as one in one set, total tweets in one set, and brand tweets is in another set. Each set should have 3 regressions, and I label them version 1, 2, and 3. So the end result is you should end up with a total of 9 regressions for this assignment. Okay, let's look at the first one. Now this is regression set number 1, which is for USA index. And as I said before, for each set there are three regressions. So this is regression version 1. So what I want you to do is go to data analysis and select run regression. Then select Y or USA index as the for the Y part, and the X, all other columns except the official and the brand columns. Then click OK. Let's do that right now. Back to our spreadsheet, sheet number 1. So I'm going to click on data analysis and then click on regression, probably further down here. There you go. Click on OK. So it asked me for my Y range. So my Y range is actually my outcome variable, so or the dependent variable. So I'm going to click on this. Click on this one as my dependent variable. Click on the label as well, which is very top. Done that. Make sure the labels are selected. The X are all the other columns from here until celebrity, but not USA index. Please make sure that that's the case. All right. The others you can leave blank. Let me click on OK. The result is inserted into a new sheet. Copy the result into your Word document and then discuss the result. So what variables can explain why? You are expected to use your knowledge from your statistics class here. So normally we would like to look at a few things. Adjusted R squared, variables with p-value less than 0.10. So let's look at adjusted R squared. The adjusted R squared here, which is here, is 0.25 or 25%, which means that it's not fantastically high. The higher the amount, closer to 1, will be the better number to look at. So adjusted R squared basically helps you to explain how the variables on the left, or the independent variables, which in this case all these other variables, is able to explain the USA index, the outcome variable. So if they are close to 1, means that they are very, very highly correlated, or they are able to really explain the outcome of the USA index. But in this case, as you can see, it's only about 25%, which is not that great. And then the next question is, which one of these variables are actually useful in explaining the USA index? Because not all of them are. But how do we know? We look at the p-value. So p-value of lower than 10% or 0.10 is best suited to explain the outcome, the USA index. But if you look at these numbers here, every one of them are lower than 10% or 0.10, except this, but this is the intercept, so there's no much use for the intercept. But what's close out here is unique sender 11% and retweets 11%. So the higher number of unique sender, or in other words the brands or ads that have higher number of senders, are marginally positively correlated with a higher rating. So retweets is the same. So ads that are able to have higher number of retweets are marginally positively correlated with ratings. That's the best we have so far in this result. So explain all these things, write them down into your Word document for this regression version 1. Next is the regression version 2 for the first set sale, which is the USA index set. So what you need to do is to copy the main sheet to another sheet, because we're going to remove some columns, so you don't want to work on the main sheet. Let's do that right now to the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to copy sheet number 1. Let's copy the whole thing and then put it into a new sheet. Alright. Select Y, which is the USA index. So Y will remain the USA index. But for X, we are only going to select brand, ad, total, and celebrity, and pre-release, and delete the other columns. So let's look at brand. Let's see. So unique sender will be deleted. So we're not going to use this one. We're not going to use these 3 columns. So let's delete them. We're not going to use retweet. Going to delete them. Delete that. So brand only. Add, total, pre-release, 4 columns for the independent variables. Are we keeping celebrity? Yes, 5 columns, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we got all that set up. So now go to data analysis, go to regression. For the Y, we're going to select this one, the USA index. For the X, we're going to select brand only until celebrity all the way down. Labels is selected. Everything else should be good. Click on OK. The results will be set into another slide. Copy this result and put it into the Word document, and then describe or explain what's happening, or explain your findings. So looking at this, I can see that the adjusted R squared is still quite low, about 24%. And then which column is significant, meaning it's able to explain the outcome? Looks like none of them is less than 10%. None of them is less than 10%, except the intercept, but we don't care. So there's not much of a useful piece of information. So there's not much of any. So we conclude that the information is not very useful. However, it's a stepping stone. That is part of the regression process. Okay, done that already. Let's go to regression version 3, still in set number 1, which is USA index. Again, copy the main sheet to another sheet, and then select Y, USA index. And for X, we are only going to select ad, celebrity, and pre-release, and delete the other columns. Run regression and then click OK. Let's go back to our sheet number 1. Copy this and create a new sheet here. So let's see. We are only going to select add, celebrity, and pre-release. So add only tweets, which is here, celebrity, and pre-release. These 3. So let's remove the rest. Okay. So let's go to data analysis, regression. Okay. So for the Y range, we're going to select the USA index. For the X range, we are going to select these 3 columns. Labels is selected. Click on OK. Here's the result. Remember, copy the result, put in the Word document, and then start explaining your result. Adjusted R squared is 20%. It's even worse than before. Let's look at p-value. So p-value is interesting. The add only tweets is very significant. So and then the other ones are not so. So in this particular result, although the R squared is low, but at least there's one a variable that is very highly positively correlated with the outcome, which is add-only tweets. In other words, the higher, or if there are more number of add-only tweets, then the particular brand or ad will have a highly likelihood of attaining a better performance. For example, if you multiply the coefficient of 0.0002 by 10,000 tweets, then you have a 2% increase. In other words, if there is a increase of 10,000 tweets for that particular brand or ad, the corresponding increase in terms of USA index is 2%, which is very, very good. Put all those discussion into your Word document. So we have completed the first set. There are 3 regressions in this first set, version 1, 2, and 3, and the first set is for USA index as the Y variable. Now I want you to work on an additional 2 other steps. So perform another set for total tweets as the Y variable. So remember to make a copy of the original sheet into a new worksheet, and then remove the unnecessary or unwanted variables, and then run the regression. Number 2, perform another set of regression runs for brand tweets as the Y variable. Then report and copy all your results to the Word document, and then discuss what your findings. Remember that there should be 3 sets of 3 regressions, each totaling 9 regression runs. Alright, the last step in our assignment is to create a word cloud. Word clouds are very useful because they help us to immediately identify most frequently words that appear in a set of tweets. Why are most frequently words important? Because they help us to identify topics that are of interest to the general public. These topics could be brands, this topic could be terms referring to competitors, referring to characteristics of your product, or any other related factors that might be directly or indirectly related to your product. So it is useful. So how do we do this? Now go to wordclouds.com and then upload the Doritos tweet text file. So Doritos tweets text file contains a bunch of tweets containing the word Doritos or the term Doritos, and then the word cloud will appear. Then discuss the word cloud. What do you find? Why are these certain terms more frequently used than others? Okay, let's do it. I'll go to www.wordclouds.com and go to File, go to Open, and find, or make sure it's all files, and find the Doritos text file. Open it, and it should show out. Here you go. Very nice. So looking at this word cloud, you can see certain terms are very frequently used. For example, SB50, referring to Super Bowl 50, and there is a Doritos brand here, and there's other things like Periscope and its entry and so forth. So can you, the Gabby Show? Ooh. So look at these terms and try to identify some terms that are useful and why do you think they are there, and write all this discussion inside the Word document. Please, of course, remember to make a picture of this word cloud and put it inside there as well. Now you can adjust this as you need. Because under here, you can choose the type of shape that you want for the word cloud. You can also limit the word list. So instead of having all the word lists or terms appearing, you can limit only the ones that are highly frequently used. So in other words, those who are below here only appearing once, you can remove them. Let's do it right now. Let me remove the ones because they're kind of not very useful. Let me remove the twos as well, and only show anything that's more than 2. Delete, apply, close. There you go. A lot easier to identify those frequently used words or terms. Okay, one final thing that I would like you to do is the summary paragraph. So please write a summary paragraph for the lab. In this summary paragraph, I would like you to describe what you have learned, what IS tools are used. How does this lab help you to understand the relationship between organizational strategy and IS tools? Now, these tools does not refer to Excel itself. It refers to the regression, the descriptive statistics, all these other tools that we use in IS to help understand data analytics and then link that to the strategy of the brands in Super Bowl, to understanding how the brand is performing and so forth. So the big question at the end is, how can this be applied to your future career? So please write all this down in the summary paragraph and include that into your Word document as well. Now, lab submission. In your Word document, there should be a descriptive statistics, correlation, 2 charts, 3 regression result sets totaling 9 total regressions, a word cloud, and a summary paragraph. Organize them well to help for easier grading, which is correlated to higher scores. Submit them on Canvas. That's the end of our lab. Have a good week.